All right, our next picture is like Northern Lights woodsy picture. So for this one, same thing, canvas from the dollar store and acrylic paint. And like my other video, remember it gets on your clothes and it will stain. So be very careful. Wear an old t-shirt or something if you know you're a messy painter. I am, so usually I wear older t-shirts or something. And then this is the kind of paint you will need. Not exactly these colors because everybody's is going to look way different. But you just need, I have some like different shades of blue, darkers, lighters. And then I have different greens, yellow, and I have black and white. So any colors pretty much work for this as long as you have darkers and lighters. You could even do you could Google pink and purple northern sky and one would come up and you could follow that one. So like pretty much any color works for this, but I'm going to do greens and blues. I'm going to try to do this one facing you a little bit more. It's not super easy videotaping by yourself, so I'm doing the best I can. So when I'm going to start this one actually, so, no, my pencil's broken. Do I have another pencil? Yep, I do. Okay, so when we start this, I'm going to draw like a little line across the bottom. I'm not going to worry about painting that. You can hardly see it, but, and then we're going to kind of paint in like a sunset circle-y kind of. So those are like, I know it's really hard to see, those are like our different layers. So there's one, there's one, there's one. So we're going to do some painting, blending and paint in this video. So I'm going to use my bigger brush and I'm going to start with my like light lime green color. Oop, and it dropped. So I'm going to start in that first spot. And I'm just going to paint that in, like that. I'm going to wipe off my paintbrush a little bit. And I'm going to grab the yellow that I had. And I am just going to mix that paint. So I'm just going to keep painting over the green. See how it's like mixing in, making like a lime green? If you just keep painting over it. You can paint above the line too, that's okay. So there's that. I'm going to wipe my paintbrush off a little bit on my paper towel. Dab it off. And then now I'm going to take my dark green. I'm going to go up here and you can see how I left like a little white spot. Sorry. Okay, I left like a little white spot in there and we're just going to work our way into the light green like that. So it's kind of blending. And then if you want to, you can grab some more of your light green and just go over that dark green again. I'm just mixing and blending. I'm going to grab some more yellow. I'm just going to go back and forth. Okay? So I'm going to leave mine kind of like that. Clean off my brush again a little bit. And I'm going to take dark green. This time I have quite a lot on mine. And I'm going to go up here And I'm just going to paint that in. See that? And this is a little trick I do sometimes. I'm going to take my finger and I'm just going to brush the paint back and forth. And I use a couple different fingers. I'm going to use my thumb. Back and forth. I'm just going to use my finger to blend my paint. See how I did that? Now there's not such a blunt line. Back and forth. And you see how that all kind of blends in? And I like it because it also wipes some of the excess paint off, the extra paint that you have. So that's all blended in. Now I'm going to take my paper towel. I'm going to kind of squeeze the paint off. Now I'm going to take one of my blues, my lighter blues, and I'm going to put that up here. And so I still have like green in my paintbrush because I didn't clean it. I just kind of wiped it. So you can see, maybe not so much because my camera is not great. You can see that like the green is mixing in with my blue. You can go back and forth in the green and bring it up to your blue. All you gotta do is get more blue then. You just keep going down and it just eventually starts blending itself. And if you want to again, it's pretty like a harsh line, so I'm going to take my finger again and just go back and forth and blend it in with my finger. Okay? Now I'm going to do the same thing where I'm going to squeeze the paint out of my brush again in the paper towel. I'm just going to squeeze it out, pinch and squeeze. And I'm going to take my dark blue because we're getting towards the top. Now I got paint spots in here. We're just going to go up towards the top. And the top always gets darker in the sky. It's lighter towards the bottom and by like the moon and stuff. So I'm going to paint this dark. You need to lay it down a little bit. Okay, I left some white in there because that's where we're going to mix. So I'm going to take my paintbrush again, squeeze it and clean it. So it's like kind of clean, but you can still see all my colors. I'm going to take my light blue again. I'm going to start up in the dark and I'm going to kind of work it into this part. Grab some more of my light blue. Work it into this one. See how I'm just going up and down, up and down. Alright, so my video stopped recording, so you didn't get to see this last step. But all I did then, right at the end, I stopped with my paintbrush and I went over it with my finger and just blended it. And that's when I got, like, this is our end result. Just blend it with your fingers again. It'll work out, I promise you. And if it doesn't work out perfectly, it's gonna look great either way. So now we just gotta let this dry before we do the bottom. Alright, so now we are going to do the trees and the hills. So we're going to take black, and I'm going to use like a smaller paintbrush. And so I'm going to start up here. This is my hill going down. Just hold it so you can see the whole thing, Jay, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And you don't have to move it so much. So those are my two hills, and now I'm just going to paint these in black. Hold it as steady as you can, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So our black later might need another touch up. Yep, another coat. But okay, so there are hills. Now I'm going to teach you how to do trees. So the first thing you're going to do, hold nice and steady. You're going to draw a line. You're going to decide how tall you want your tree. There's your line. You're just going to start here, and you're just going to draw little wispy lines out. Like that. And you're going to go to this side. Little lines out. Then you're going to do another tree. Little lines out. And that is how you do a tree. And you just put as many on there as you want. I'm going to fill up this whole bottom part. Actually, I think I'm going to use my smaller paintbrush. Got a little smaller one.
Mm-hmm.
Dip it in there. Line your little wispy lines out.
Ow.
Uh-oh. Okay, so like you can see, some of these spots you can kind of see through, and that's okay because I'm going to show you the next part. So we might have to repaint over some spots anyways. So now we're going to do the stars. So to do the stars, you need
It's just
two paintbrushes. Do you see my two paintbrushes? Okay, can you see my picture? Okay, so I'm going to dip some paint. Can you put it on this? Got some paint, but I'm gonna wipe some of that off. I only need a little bit. I'm gonna take my other paintbrush on top like this. You're crossed, and you're just going to. Oh, it's not working. I'm gonna dip it in some water. I'm gonna make my paint kind of watery. Are you on the paint? I dipped it in some water, so I made my paint kind of watery like this, and mixed it in there. So now it should, and I'm just hitting it.
got some paint on me.
You're fine. So when I hit it, I got white dots everywhere, and that's going to be our stars. So then I'm going to go back over my black again, cover up those little
Spots.
and my tree spots. Make sure they're nice and dark. Go over here, fill in my white dots. And then now get my trees, fill my trees back in so you can't see any of my stars on my trees. You might want to wait longer than I did for the paint to dry, so that you can really cover up the green spots and the white spots so they don't all blend in. Oops, like that one. Okay, so that is our green northern sky.
I think there's one more.
Okay, Jay, but
There's green.
alright, so this is our finished northern light sky. I hope you enjoyed.